folks. It's inside the tape. We interrupt this video to bring you breaking news. 3 riders we know of are out due to the brutal conditions on this Val Di Sole track. So Amaury Pierron has hurt his shoulder. We don't know if it's broken, but he's not going to be racing this weekend. Bodie Burke had a big crash, blew his back wheel over the top of one of the berms, had a tumble. He's not going to be racing this weekend. And sadly, Anna Newkirk crashed and broke her hand. Some top riders won't be racing. We hope they will get better soon. And yeah, on with the normal show. The trackside, I've just run up from filming the preview, which you should go and check. It's with last round's junior winner, Ollie Clark. It's online, it's a good one. He's a steezy lad. So yeah, we've come down to the middle section. It's looking pretty dusty down here. And I want to give you a quick overview of the track before we kind of get into the nitty gritty, as that guy suffers in the dust. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on right now. Top section, out the start gate, is totally different to the rest of the track. It's kind of bike parky, berms, super dusty, really fast, really bright. Some inside lines, outside lines, and at the moment it's running really nice. But there's going to be big holes, it's going to be rough, and we might see some exciting moments in the live feed. After that, dive into the top wood section, and that's where you get the classic Val Di Sole rocks and roots. Big, chunky roots that are like actually really hard to set your bike up for because they're so fat and like harsh. Really chattery, sharp rocks that give punctures, they smash chain devices, they make you like just get all out of shape. But if the riders are super smart, can pick their lines to miss the harshest of the edges, you can carry a lot of speed. There's also some gap from one rock to another, gap from another rock to another. There's like different rhythms through the Nar. Then you get into the fresh sections. They've just taped it off into the kind of loamy woods. They've not cut anything in. Pretty much, riders are free to go where they want. The lines are cutting in, looking super good. We're gonna ghost it later. It's gonna be good. We're gonna go check that out. Then coming down into the kind of more middle section, things get steeper. It's dusty, there's lines, there's off cambers, there's ruts, but they're just made out of powder. Then it gets super fast, even rougher. They put in some turns to kind of slow things down where it was super gnarly and we saw really bad crashes in the past. Get to the final last section where it gets super steep, fly out into the open. 600 miles an hour, round that fly off, round the turn and down to the finish. So that's a quick overview of the track. It's a gnarly one. I find it one of the most difficult tracks of the year when I was racing it. But I've just got here. This is looking like a complete mess. I've not seen what's going on. You sir, come here. Tell me what's going on.
What's up, you friggin' nerds? There seems to be like 3 lines in every corner up until this point. And this one has about 3 lines as well. Right here is probably the most straightforward part, but the hardest to execute. You're turning in over this loose, junky dirt that doesn't have very much definition, and then you have to hit this 2 tire width wide rut that sends you into the 2 main lines for the rest of the section.
Yeah, so it's like you get that wrong, you've ruined the rest of it pretty much.
Yeah, that's the most important part.
Okay.
And then after is a blind rise.
Okay.
Which goes into the high line, which is kind of hard to hold because if you put your tire an inch wrong, you can end up sliding down the camber.
So yeah, the high line, it's like super precise, swing it up, but it gives you a nice easy arc into the next turn. What's the other option?
Yeah, you can kind of head straighter over this rise. I think it's a little bit more reliable to get into, but then it sets you up at a bit of a tighter angle for that next right-hander.
You maybe don't have to be as precise over the first bit?
Yeah.
We've got like 50% change, I reckon, but it's really challenging because it's all new and you don't really know what's under the ground yet. So yeah, it's just a challenge knowing what's like beneath the soft stuff.
You can go down there if you want, but it's the long way around. And it might not be as much of a headache as this one, but I think you're going to be hard pressed to carry as much speed through that.
I think I saw it. It's actually quite tricky to keep your balance. You might tip over that Karcher banner if you're not careful.
Yeah, we've seen a couple guys do that.
So yeah, there's loads going on here. We've got loads of clips of this, but we're going to work our way up the track. There's a bit that Brian's maybe going to do a little breakdown, and then we're going to ghost the fresh section. So let's go. Go. I don't know what the deal is with these pads, and like, can somebody like come in and gap over it to land on like the clean area here? Like, see if their tires are here.
Earlier today, people have been doing it.
Yeah.
Like clipping it. Yeah.
But like, where is illegal? You know?
They are lying about the balls.
So obviously that's legal. I kind of feel like
That.
here's okay,
Mm-hmm.
here's not okay.
I would agree. I would agree. I think riders are taking that into consideration almost.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder, and in race runs, I bet we'll see people clipping it. And it's such narrow margins, you have to like barely clear that rock, clip the barrier.
It like makes you land in like a wheel ending route. It's disgusting.
Like, pretty much the whole track is that you're just presented with horrible options. Like, they all suck. There is not a single good line out here, and you just have to pick from the most cupped out, rough, like this qualifies as a landing, which is just horrible.
Yeah, that would be a rock garden anywhere else.
And then if you go slightly outside, you're kind of ended with that pointy rock and a ball of dust, and then you're kind of screwed for your entry into this next section. We're in the danger zone. Yeah, so this bit looks really horrible to ride. There's another section that looks like it sucks up there. So
Should we go up there?
yeah, we're gonna go and talk about a few lines in that one.
Let's grab it.
It's nice to have some fresh sections and some changes. I feel like the last few years it's been pretty similar, so now I feel like it's almost all brand new. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool to actually figure out where to go. And yeah, it flows pretty good actually. It's definitely a lot tighter and slower than years past, but I'm liking it.
That guy, he's good. Get him. Let's get the same angle, quick.
With two little friends, pan and zoom services, be sure to capture your life's best moments. We pan in and we zoom out. Get in contact today and we'll zoom, zoom, zoom all the way to you.
This is my first time in Val Di Sole. It's quite dry here. It's probably more similar to wet than it is to tacky conditions, because if you've watched your Ben Cathro How to Bike series, you know that you want to be centered maybe a little bit forward, loading the front in the corner.
I remember that being really bad when it's dusty.
Yeah. So the problem is that when you load the front, which is good in pretty much every other scenario, the dirt just falls away. So you really kind of have to enter a little bit more rearward, but it's also tough because you still need to get a response in some sections. And I would say here it's a factor, but maybe not as big of a problem because the corner's quite a wide radius. You're never really wanting to turn in one spot. But that new section down there, you're down a steep bit into a fresh bit of loam, and you kind of got to do something all at once. So that's going to be quite interesting.
Which is better?
Yeah, who knows?
Let's find out.
How's the dust treating you?
Oh, it's a bit aggressive, bit like really deep, and just there's a lot of stuff underneath, so it's like it's hard to know kind of the line. Like you kind of think you're in line, and then you just start pinging stuff and bouncing everywhere. So
What are you puzzling on right now?
just this rut that keeps going
Changing,
farther
yeah.
and farther outside. So maybe go inside of that one because it might not be there tomorrow.
This is one of the fresh sections of Val Di Sole, and it's sick. There's like some loamy stuff up top with lines cutting in, and there's two very big obvious lines at the top on the way into it. Inside one leads you into the biggest compression of your life. If you don't slow down to a walking pace, you're going to do a press up. And there's rocks and like holes hidden in the loam that you can't really see, and then you'll hit them and just like cave into the bike. The outside line up there, it's a long way around, bit more consistent, easier to do. Sends you fast into this bit, but you maybe don't want to be fast into this. It's like a long, massive left-hander, super loose, super kind of changeable. Like one run you come down, the rut's here, next run you come down, it's gone, next run you come down, there's a new rut, it's slightly to the inside. But there are two lines that can be done here. If you set up wide and dig in, you can get high, or you can just let it run all the way to the outside, which at the moment seems to be working well, but it might not be there later. So it's a really interesting one, because like one line might be faster in the morning and slower in the afternoon. So let's draw out the lines so you get a good understanding of it, and then we'll go to this section. So we're on board here with Ollie Clark when he did his preview run. The track's a little bit different, but this will give you a good scope of what things are looking like in this new section. So as he comes down into here, comes around this corner, and we'll pause it on the edge of this so I can show you the main features. This outside line, it's a lot longer, but there is a big rock in there, but it's much easier to do. This inside line has a big compression next to the tree, and there's also a huge rock in there causing problems. So what some riders are doing are trying to get onto that little tree root to gap over that big compression and hole. Ollie's got a really good line to do it from here, but he does that later on in the day. Let's see what he does on this preview run. Oh, he just takes that big hit. Let's back things up though, so I can show you how they set up for it. So that is the main outside line that goes round through that flowing outside rut. That is the main inside line into that big compression next to the tree. There is obviously Ollie's option here, which goes round behind that rock onto the inside. I'm gonna call that Big Ollie's Whitey Tighty. And then there's another variation that we saw happen off of that inside, which involves going over that big rock, big jump and onto that inside. And we're gonna call that Jackson's inside. Let's let Big Ollie run through this again because there is another line after this compression. So they come down into here, left-hander, pause again. Now, it looks a bit different because the dust is all moved, but this is now the standard outside line, right around the bottom, hit the rut. There's lots of rocks under there, super sketchy. Or you can slow up and get high and go above the tree down the next straight, which is going to be fastest. Let's look at some of the fastest through this section. So Finn Isles was fully inside, off the root nugget next to the tree to take out the worst of the compression, slap the big dusty rut. This is the ghosting angle, and then going fully wide to try and just carry the speed around the outside along that straight, and the finish line's there. Now we got one of the few people managing to make this outside look super fast and clean. It's a long way around, but Max Hartenstern was going fast, even got a little tweak out of it there. So it's going to be super interesting to see how much time is gained or lost on that first bit. And that'll be the finish there. So here they come into the section. You can see Max looks like he's in front because he's going so much quicker into that outside. His fin is on the inside through that compression, hits the rut. But look at him, he's way out in front. But Max Hartenstern should be carrying more speed. So is he going to actually start reeling him in? Doesn't look like it. Finn's super fast into this corner as Max glitches out and he's gone. He's back. He's back. Is he catching him? I don't think so. So what is the time gap going to be as they get to this tree? It's going to be, oh, it's a big one. 0.5 second, over half a second, mostly from that top line. Now we're going to compare fastest Finn Isles against Lucas Shaw, who does that same inside, but he slows up there and gets on this higher line. It looks super chill, but let's compare and actually see what the difference is as they come into this section. Look at the speed that Luca goes into that compression. He doesn't bother with the little root gap, and he just comes into it way quicker as Finn gets it a little bit cleaner, and actually he's carrying more speed out of it. It looks like Finn's catching him up. Now Luca is braking. He's on the brakes. He's slowing down so he can get this inside line. Finn overtakes him into the outside. He doesn't need to slow down because he's got that big dusty rut that he can just blow up and carry the speed. But now Luca's off the brakes. He's actually catching him up. It's going to be super close to the line. I don't know who's going to take it. At the tree, 0.11 to Finn. So that inside does look like it is fast. Now we got one more. Look at this. Jackson Goldstone on his rock hop line to then clean root gap. We're going to compare that against the fastest on that other line, which was Finn Isles. So yeah, he gets that super nice. He actually gets a little sketchy on that ghost run, but he gets this low line really good. So let's line him up against Finn Isles, see what happens. They come into this section, and it's looking like who's in front? It's super close as they both gap into that section. Jackson's back end steps out. They hit the rut. They're looking super similar. Now watch, Finn doesn't bother with the setup. He just heads straight to this next bit as Jacko sets up a little bit higher. Finn is out in front. It's looking good. He's charging into this corner. But then watch this. Jackson gets off the brakes, super cleanly pushes through that rut, and he accelerates out of the corner and overtakes Finn on the next straight. That is called corner execution, folks, and he is out in front, gets to the next turn, and look at this difference. Oh, 0.25 just on that left-hand rut. So, hope you enjoyed the ghost in there. I cannot believe that person went the fastest. No one would have called it. Maybe Brian would have called it, I don't know. Brian, who was impressing you today? What was looking good?
I love watching Dakota. I'm biased, you know, Team America, but he's always doing something interesting.
Yeah,
like,
no, he genuinely is.
Half the time he's on some completely different program, different line, fun to watch. And besides that, I mean, Jackson, he's won here in the past. No one quite does it like him down this, I don't know, he's just hop, skip, and a bounce, and nothing really seems to bother him.
No, he has broken the laws of physics on several occasions today. I was super good. I thought Finn Isles looked really good. He's been like struggling in the last few races, but today he was going. Yeah, that was sick. Hope you enjoyed. And Brian, cheers for coming along for these 2 videos. Really appreciated you being here.
Thanks for having me.
Sick.
It was a great time.